Yeah, there's more than that. Every time they add more books, you get more pictures in there.
Oh.
I feel like this campaign's gonna need some flowing wind for all the hair.
Yes.
I don't know.
Is this one okay? Or do I need
The new-
I don't think I
it's
saw
fine.
another
I
one.
said UA is
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
Alright, this one's
The
much
new-
better.
The new Eberron book has a lot of stuff.
That one is way better. Hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I expected to see when I heard Forest Snow.
Oh,
Wait, is that-
nice.
Turn that into a circle and import it as your character token.
I don't know if I have the paint skills necessary to crop into a circle.
You're Fabian
go to-
fucking von Musel Klowowski Derolo III.
Pretty sure that was it.
Yeah,
I think you got one
got
of
it.
those.
I got it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
He didn't even bat an eye. That was perfect.
Anybody make sugar cubes recently?
Made sugar cookies.
No.
With sugar cubes? Homemade sugar cubes?
No, well, I stopped taking sugar in my coffee.
What if you were to make
Now
the
you just
homemade
take it in your
sugar
ass.
cubes?
What?
It's like feeding a horse, but his ass. You're all balls and no peen, bro.
Who are you talking to?
You!
Oh yeah, well that's just someone fucking cut out the middle.
Anybody accidentally shit on their own balls?
Not yet.
Or somebody else's?
It wasn't an
3
accident.
times.
It wasn't
Okay.
an accident.
So I'll rephrase it without the accident part.
Maybe.
Oh, Kylie, I think I saw you had Firebolt twice in there, so you might want to change
Oh
it.
yeah,
one
what the
time.
fuck? Okay.
The fuck? The fuck?
Double
It's-
fireball.
Yeah,
hell
because
yeah,
you got it
dude.
from your
Smells
feat
like
that you took.
This is a one-shot that's taking place in the Return of the Geist Lord timeline, setting, etc. You will at some point be able to pin down when exactly that happened, but I'm not going to be forthcoming about it. So, we'll get to character introductions shortly. What I would like to do is introduce the party. You are all members of a party that either before you got this job together, or maybe not. Maybe you just met when you took on this job together. But you are adventurers who, for your own various purposes, took a job here in the city of Waterdeep, the City of Splendors, here on the Sword Coast. And for one reason or another, you had need of adventuring companions and a job to do, and such jobs that come with hazards are easier to do with a party. So each of you have met when you accepted this job from an individual named Carl Dragonborn.
Oh shit.
And so Carl Dragonborn, who is this information broker type of individual, a gnome in Waterdeep. Despite the name, yes, he is a gnome, and that was not at all clear on the missives that you first received, or job postings, or word of mouth. It was never mentioned that Carl Dragonborn is, in fact, diminutive gnome.
Was he wearing a fancy suit of any kind?
He absolutely was. Well, he was wearing red velvet finery, but he had a gaudy necklace made of gold coins around his neck. And this task, for which you are promised a reward once you bring this object back to Carl, you are tasked with finding an item that Carl calls the Shard of the Exarch. And this artifact apparently allows the user to commune with the dead. And this artifact is, Carl tells you, located somewhere in the Blackford Hills, southeast of Luskan, in a temple to Velsharoon. This temple is a location where a pirate had at some place hoarded a bunch of loot, and this Shard of the Exarch is among the treasures within. And so, with that task, you had taken a ship north along the Sword Coast to Luskan. And this voyage took around 4 days. The captain's name is not Klaus.
Flaus,
Captain's name was
Mouse, Blouse, Trouse.
This was a man named Brigard Trouse.
Nice.
And he is the captain of a ship called the Lady Waterdavian. So as you are bound toward Luskan, give us sort of the long and short of your characters.
All right. So I'm Bint Naughton. I'm a diminutive gnome, although whenever I speak, I'm at eye level because I have these special boots of levitation that allow me to levitate up to 5 feet off the ground. So whenever I'm communicating, I communicate at eye level, despite being a gnome.
Do you have a really long trench coat?
Seriously. Yes, I do, actually. I have a very long cloak that hangs down to the ground, so you can only tell that I'm short from the front. I'm a cheery and humorless gnome. I like to make little illusions and things like that. I'm known in Waterdeep for making toys and trinkets for children and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm a short little weird-looking gnome.
So Sam right now is taking the appearance of kind of like a handsome, young, average build guy. Sam is a changeling. Basically was born with a pretty strange deformity to his changeling parents, and they actually swapped him for a human baby and left him on the street. And so was taken in by a kind person that raised him and gave him the name Sam, and kind of had to find his own way on the streets, how to make some money, how to get by. Found out he could use the changeling abilities to do that. He's kind of good at maybe sneaking in, stealing some money by putting on the appearance of like a house servant, or taking note of what's happened around the city to use that to an advantage. Sam also has been to Luskan before and thought magic would be a good way to also earn some money and protect himself. So he studied under Odium for a little while, learned some of the grosser spells that are also useful.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And now Lycoris, please.
Lycoris is this tiny little barbarian. Goliath.
Clearly.
Yes, tiny, 8 feet tall. Anyway, 340 pounds. She is well known in her village for just being unbeatable in drinking contests, arm wrestling, and other like bar fights, fist fights sort of thing. Has never been knocked out. Oh, she doesn't have hair on her head. It's all shaved off, and it's got like these battle tattoos all over her. And she knew Tricoris, and knew Tricoris set out to do some exploring, and she wants to do some exploring. And maybe run into Tricoris, find out how he's doing, and in doing so, got invited to help out with this task.
Thank you, Lycoris. Now, Jack, can you please give us the primer on your character?
He's Jack. He's about 6 feet tall. He's very handsome. His charm is captivating. He wears kind of dresses like a pirate. He's got like long sleeve white shirt with like a green vest and this like kind of wispy black tattered cloak thing. He's a cleric. He's interested in treasure. That's part of his reason for being here, but nobody really knows yet.
Does your cape billow in the wind?
No, it's kind of gross.
Oh,
She's had it for a while.
So Freya is an older water genasi. They live a little longer than humans. She's in her 80s. She's not like decrepit, but she is older. She was born on an island of water genesis that once every generation someone's born with these gifts to help the people of the land. Hers were a little different though. She got these druidic powers, and she thinks it's from the father of the sea, Njord. So at a younger age, she set out to the from the island to the Sword Coast and has been trying to find her place, somewhere to help. Along her adventures, she ran into Tiberius Jedi, hooked up with his party, and eventually found her way to a small colony of people, Keldel. She was helping them for many, many years, and she's kind of found herself unneeded in that area now. They're very self-sufficient, so she's made her way back to Waterdeep, and she's looking for her next purpose.
Ooh.
I'm going to bring you now to Luskan.
The sex dungeon. Oh.
That is a cool map.
On our other campaign, you had some adventures here, but your main experience with it was the exterior of the walls.
Yep.
So the Lady Waterdavian very reluctantly set in at Dragon Beach. Luckily, this was early in the morning, and so you have disembarked. And after reaching Luskan here, you have spent a little bit of time familiarizing yourself with the place. But you've headed down along the docks this way, and you find yourselves at the Cutlass. So this is an inn that is truly infamous. And as you enter this place, you see that it is constantly like on the edge of breaking out into a brawl. You see 3 tables of sailors, and these sailors are rowdy, constantly pushing, squabbling. You can hear the points of knives being driven into tables, cards being shuffled, dice being cast. You see there are 2 men by the door actively wrestling a very drunk half-orc, and he always gets the upper hand, but as these men are thrown off of his back, they get back up and come at him again. It seems like they're trying to push him out the door, but the half-orc has not moved since you've arrived. You also see that on another table, there is a barbarian with what appears to be a baby owlbear perched on his shoulders. In a more quiet table in the corner, there's a pair of sea captains playing a game of cards rather quietly. You also see that there are there's a trio of pen pals nervously drinking their ale. There is a man in black armor, there is a tabaxi bard, and there is, who's the third character?
Gonna go up and kill the 3 pen pals?
The Dragonborn lady and the tabaxi bard are very much to themselves. Every now and again they glance over at the rowdy sailors, whereas the man in black armor, Vikrul, is just sort of milling with them and laughing heartily.
His name is just on the back of his armor. It's
on the
his waistband.
There are stairs up to a second floor. There's a bar in front, of course. But there is also a door beside the bar. It looks like it leads downstairs, and it is blocked by a golem, a stone golem.
How much does a golem weigh?
Probably about a ton.
Easy.
Was that the magic phrase?
Ain't no thing.
What do we know about the hills or the temple? Anything yet?
You can go ahead and give me a history check.
Ooh.
Really bad.
You would have poo-poo. Oh,
You don't have lucky now.
Should have taken lucky.
So you're definitely aware of where the Blackford Hills are, but as far as this temple to Velsharoon that Carl Dragonborn has sent you to find, you don't have any more information than that.
Lycoris wants in on this.
Okay.
Throw a grease spell under him.
Whose side do you want to be on, Lycoris? The half-orc or the 2 humans?
My own side.
Okay. So Jack rolls up to the counter, and there is a middle-aged man there, kind of balding with a beard, and this is the man that serves you a round of ale.
Who should we talk to about, the history of this place?
I've been here a little longer than most. People tend to just stop in for port, like I figure you are.
I don't suppose you've been out to the Blackford Hills, then?
Not often, no. But, I know there's some people who go, whoa, easy there, hey, barbarian lady. As Lycoris just picks up this half-orc and throws him out the door.
That's how you do it.
You see both of the humans go right past Lycoris out the door, and they try to pin the half-orc, and they're just fighting in the street now.
Freya's just gonna excuse herself from the table and say, "I'll keep an eye on them," and walk out.
The
Well, I
barkeep
guess, use
goes...
Fiverr for me then.
So you've got your ale here. The barkeep, he nods and he says, "There are a couple of wizards and magic folk of the Arcane Brotherhood who will be out there gathering spell components and things like that.
Well, we've heard there's a temple out there.
I would recommend, if you're looking for information in this area, there are some smugglers active on the coast along the hills. See the Whisper. She would be the one to get in contact with. I can set up a meeting with her if you wish."
Well, that would be great. She sounds like somebody who might know something.
Indeed. So stick around for 2 more ales, and I'll set up that meeting.
2 more. Just bought 5.
I mean 2 each.
Okay. Yeah, is it always this hectic in here?
It is. Well, there's no fights going on. I wouldn't call it hectic yet.
Well, at least my giant friend handled that one for you.
Hear something break outside.
Sounds like bone. You see this fighter in black armor comes over. He has a beautiful sword. He slaps Bimp on the back. He goes, "Hey, how's it going, pal? I haven't seen you here before."
Bimp looks uncomfortably. How tall is this guy?
He is 6 foot.
Okay, so
Shit.
I'll rise up to be 6'1". just above eye level. It's going well. How are you? In a strangely deep voice.
He sees you rise up and he goes, "Look at his little feet." And he goes over to one of the tables with the sailors and he's pointing, and the rest of them all
Bimp
kind of have
looks-
a laugh.
Bimp pulls his cloak around him and then turns so that they can't see his legs walking in the air as he floats away to a table off in the corner.
Eventually,
Not breaking any arms.
yeah. But they get tuckered out after wrestling with you for a little while. So one of the humans kind of picks himself up. He's nursing a black eye, and he just kind of wanders off. The half-orc and the human, the half-orc kind of pats the human on the back, and then they go together back inside to get an ale.
Just leave me alone.
Pretty much, yeah.
Lycoris feels a little bit of loneliness.
Very nice. Do you want to go get an ale? Are you thirsty?
You want to wrestle?
We could try that. As you run to tackle, she's gonna turn into a polar bear.
Lycoris is
Well.
unfazed.
Let's roughhouse.
Inside, you hear the roughhousing sort of come to an end, and then you just hear a bear roar. And you hear something hit the side of the tavern.
The bear sense goes flying.
Come on, bear, give me a good fight.
I feel like Lycoris would forget that it's Freya.
Well, wait, what is Lycoris's intelligence?
It's pretty
Oh,
low.
God.
Not good.
No.
There is a possibility of that.
I'm gonna try to bring an ale outside to the big guy.
The big girl.
Oh, right.
Big girl.
All right. Are we good with that? Can we go inside now?
Have you had enough exercise, Lycoris?
She doesn't understand what the hell you mean by that. Like there could ever be
Have you-
enough.
Are you
But-
ready for some sit down time? You know, quiet time.
Need more ale.
All right,
Well,
big fella, we'll get you some. Come on in.
the ale's inside.
I feel like you have to like lead her in. Like, come over here. It's okay.
When I see you guys come back in the door, kind of like wave you over the table.
and it is about 10 a.m. when the bartender, he comes out from around the bar, and he gives Jack a nod, and he says, I've set up a meeting for you. And then he gets, like, kind of close to you and says this in a very low whisper. You're going to meet her inside the market at the Prisoner's Carnival.
Okay.
Sounds
It's nice of them
delightful.
to put on a carnival for the prisoners.
Yeah.
And then he sets down an empty mug in front of you. Part of the rumor mongering could be considered an aspect of my job. Something that sometimes I'll get paid for here and there, you know?
I thought the agreement was a couple more ales.
Right. So he gets up, he takes the empty cup off the table, kind of throws it and catches it. He goes back behind the bar and begins pouring more of them. The wench delivers them back to your table.
Thank you, wench.
So there's the third ale delivered to the table. I don't know how much you guys are drinking, but just keep that in mind, I suppose.
Well,
Doris is on her third keg.
Give me a
I've been
Constitution
sipping.
saving throw.
Should I as well if I've had 2 mugs of ale as 45 pounds?
Hell
All
yeah.
right.
The chorus is fine. You can give me one, sure. Bimp. Yeah, you're doing just fine. When you get
dangerous
really
with
drunk,
boots.
I feel like it affects your levitation.
Yes. Starts wavering up and down a little bit.
Flies around like a brick, smashing.
Hey,
Well, I
No.
just spin in the air and get wrapped up in my own cloak.
no levitating under the influence. I'm gonna start messing with Bimp a little bit. Not messing with, but trying to entertain Bimp by taking the ale, which is partially water, right? And like affecting it, like bringing it out of the cup and swirling it around in front of him and putting it back in.
What? How?
I'm special. I'm a snowflake.
Are there candles at the table?
Yes.
Can I make one of them shoot a 5-foot jet of flame straight up?
The rafter sketch flame.
Yes. So when you turn one of... It's like a Bic lighter when you turn up the flame.
Oh, hell yeah.
This flame jumps and shoots onto the ceiling, and it catches one of these hanging ropes with one of these
jeez.
pulleys on it, and it begins catching fire. And you
I can
see
put that
the
out too.
okay,
If it's in a 5-foot cube, I'll just go put that back out. Whoops.
got it. Okay.
I'll start bringing his beer up towards the ceiling and then, oh, okay. Put it back down.
For a moment, the 3 rowdy tables of sailors stop, and they're all looking over their shoulder at the flame and then the smoldering ropes up at the ceiling. And then they sort of slowly get back to their usual rowdiness.
Those captains seem to keep looking over here.
Well, we are a floating dwarf and a polar bear. I don't know.
How dare you?
Yeah, we might be kind of a unique sort in here. I don't know.
You know?
Are there any other people floating?
No, not currently.
Yes, Jack, what was that conversation about?
You know, I'm just trying to do something useful over here. I got us a meeting. Gonna tell us about the temple, I hope.
Oh,
Well done.
well done indeed.
Yeah, somebody called the
Indeed.
Whisperer. Maybe they're gonna kill us, maybe they'll tell us.
Whisperer.
Go find out.
Well, strength in numbers, right? We should be
Yeah,
fine.
I have a feeling we'll be alright.
When and where is this meeting, Jack?
Well, if we quit messing around, I think it's right now. In
Oh.
the market.
Oh, why
better
didn't
go
you
then.
say?
It's a shame you didn't get to use any of your dashing good looks on these ladies in here.
Lycoris flutters her eyes.
Oh, shit. Sam just turns into a lady. Maybe you can try it now.
Sam sheds his skin and peels it off.
Oh
Oh,
god.
yeah, no,
I think
no,
we
no.
need. I think we need to
Reiterate.
discuss how that happens, like how changelings change. Does it
Guess
just
we'll
happen
find out.
like? Oh shit!
So where are we supposed to go, Jack?
The market, something called Prisoner's Carnival.
Interesting.
Does that sound
dynamic.
familiar to me? Prisoner's
Yes.
Carnival.
Indeed. The Prisoner's Carnival is kind of like a trademark of Luskan. It's more like a fight pit than it is like a carnival. And this is located basically central to the main marketplace here in Luskan. So, Sam, you would certainly know the way there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know where that is. You want to follow me?
Good. Is everyone else ready?
Of course, we can go find more food later. Hurry up.
My response is a super loud belch as I get up.
You exit the Cutlass, and you see that there are some unsavory folks hanging around outside, and you kind of get some glances. You're definitely being noticed as you make your way around town here. And from the Cutlass...
How can they pick us out?
Good question. But Sam leads you from Half Moon Street along the seaside, so you get a good view of the beaches. And honestly, the Dragon Beach at this time of day, it is not a welcoming place. There are thugs hanging out with weapons on display. There are fights going on. You're pretty sure you see someone being robbed as you're walking these streets. To the north,
Your coin bags in this part.
you can see the host tower of the Arcane from this eastern shore. And this tower, you see it noted here on the map, but it is much more wide-reaching than this. The branches of the tower spread out and all over the cove here. You head past some ruins here, which are given a good berth by passers-by. These are mossy old ruins, all overhung with weeds and vines, until you reach the marketplace. The buildings that are located right around the Prisoner's Carnival, they're a little more run down, and you get into some kind of seedy areas, a lot of boarded up and shuttered businesses that nonetheless still sound like there's activity going on inside. I would like perception checks from everybody, please.
Whoa! Whoa!
Wow, we're owning.
There's a nat 20!
Was our lowest 17? 12? Oh, never mind.
As you are making your way through these alleys, you are cognizant of the fact that you are being pursued. It looks like people are following you, but as you kind of stop and cast glances over your shoulder, they break off, and they just kind of go back to their business. So you suspect that somebody's keeping an eye on you as you make your way through here.
Is there like a corner near us? Could Lycoris post up near a corner?
Sure, absolutely.
I hide from them.
You're doing a wonderful job.
You're huge.
Thank
Are you going to hide?
you.
That's rude.
I crouch down a little bit.
Much better.
Oh, there you go.
Try not to look suspicious. Just keep
I think
moving.
We've already done a poor job at that.
Maybe she's taking a dump? I don't know.
I hope not.
There's a sewer over there for that. Let's just keep our wits about us. Jack, is your last name Black by any chance?
It isn't.
Oh. Never mind then.
Why, do you know one?
I knew a bard back in the day. Kind of looked like him.
Yes, the one with the 6-string flute.
Yes, yes. Oh, the very well traveled there, Lycoris, right?
Lycoris puts her hands over her eyes.
Ahead, you can see the Prisoner's Carnival, which is this large, square building with an open top. And you can hear the sounds of like a ringmaster shouting to the crowd, kind of hyping things up. And you can hear the crowd. You hear applause. You hear hoots every now and again. As you are making your way in, you note that There are a pair of doors on the front of the building where people would come in, and they are closed right now. There is a man standing in front of the doors, and he has a morning star on his hip, and he is watching you guys as you approach. You see that there are a couple other rough-looking men hanging around this open area. They're eyeing you as you approach. What would you like to do?
Go talk to him.
Okay. And you hear kind of like a snicker and a chuckle pass between some of the men who are just standing with their backs against posts. You see one of them has a club, and he's tossing it from hand to hand. And so, Jack, you approach the man at the door. His hair is getting white. He used to have brown hair, so he has almost like a muddy-colored mop of hair that comes down to his shoulders. And he has this big, long mustache. He is wearing a leather jerkin, and he looks up at you, and he grins, and you see that he has 4 black teeth. And he spits off to the side, and he says, "Looking for someone, pal?"
Well, yes, good morning. My name's Jack. How are you?
Didn't ask for your name. Looking for someone.
I am, actually. Me and my friends back there, we've got a meeting for someone known as the Whisperer.
That's what I thought.
Ah.
And he removes himself from the door, so he kind of comes a few steps toward you, and he raises his morning star. Roll me initiative.
Boy.
Sam, you are first in initiative order. What would you like to do?
Well, this looks like a lot of people.
Mhm.
So I think I will cast Sickening Radiance.
Okay.
Ooh.
And let's see. Over this way. I'd like to get these 3 in the
Okay.
30-foot radius.
I'm going to give Sam control over that token, so place it where you wish.
Let's go there.
Okay.
If possible.
Got it.
It's a random laugh.
Sickening.
It just looks like a disgusting green cloud spreading outward.
The gnome at the center.
When you cast this spell, you can hear within the sounds of the crowd begins to change on that side of the house. And you hear some people sort of coughing and choking and crying out.
Who's got the bigger
four.
dicks?
Okay, Jack, it is your turn. This man has swung a morning star at you. What are you going to do?
Oh, boy. Are all these other guys
Actually, you should
looking
do within 5
aggressive, or is it just
Yes,
this
they
guy?
are.
One guy?
They all look like they're with that guy.
Oh, good. Okay, then I'm gonna cast Zephyr Strike.
Okay.
Just so everyone knows, it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks on my movement, and I can give myself advantage and extra damage on one roll.
Zephyr Strike
Nice.
is cool.
Yeah. Alright, and then I will hit him with a short sword.
Okay. This man steps forward, and as he tries to bring the Morning Star down, you all see Jack just take a knee,
Oh, wait,
and
I
then
have 10
this
more.
sword comes out of his sleeve. He slashes him once, twice, and then he's gone. He just nimbly, totally avoids the attack. The man is just bleeding and in surprise. Lycoris, you have heard combat, and you are coming down the road.
I'll probably get over here with my party group. Be like, friends, okay?
Something smells over here. This guy is... Actually, 2 of them are going to try and go after Lycoris. So these 2. So the one with the dagger. +6. That's
Is
a nat
that,
20.
Does that cloud
Oh,
affect
baby.
them at all?
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
yeah, at the start of the turn. Yes, indeed. So I need to make saves. That's like 21.
Nice.
So they're going to take half.
I don't think so.
No,
It says
I'm reading it now.
must succeed
Okay.
or take. So if they succeed, then
Got
you're
it.
fine.
Okay. This last one with the dagger is going to come over, and he's going after Bimp.
Maybe.
It's a 16 to hit your AC, Bimp.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
It's going to be 4 points of bludgeoning. Or no, a piercing.
Okay. Can this guy make a DC 15 Wisdom save?
Yes. No, he cannot.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. So I whip a feather out of my pack, and with the creepiest gnome smile I can put on, reappear and say, "Who wants a tickle?" And cast cautious, hideous laughter on this guy.
Okay, all right. He falls to the ground and is just taken by laughter. He is kicking and pounding the floor, and he drops his club, and he is just laughing uncontrollably.
The area is cast in shadow as these rumbling clouds pour in overhead, and you can start to see lightning strike across the clouds. So I'm going to target this area right here,
Okay.
next to the juggernaut there.
Got it.
And it's going to hit any creature within 5 feet of that spot.
Okay.
So I believe it'll hit Juggernaut and the guy south.
Sure.
I'm going to need a DC 15 Dex save.
Okay. So the Juggernaut guy is actually pretty dexterous, but he's still not going to make
Dex
it.
save.
And Club Boy also does not make it.
Okay. So they're going to take 3d10,
Okay.
which is...
Ooh,
so 20 points of
pretty
damage
decent.
to both of them.
Okay. When Freya raises her staff, which shakes like a tree in a storm, you see overhead storm clouds begin to coalesce. And out of what was a relatively mild, overcast day, there are now dark clouds. And then, out of these dark clouds, emerges a lightning bolt that hits dangerously close to you lot. When it hits, there's a blinding flash, and you look down and you're unharmed, but you see some of these enemies of yours are not so lucky.
Can we do an infestation cantrip?
Yes, absolutely. Who are you
Cause
targeting?
a cloud of mites, fleas, and other
Grease on
parasites. The guy to my upper left here.
Disgusting.
Okay, got it. That's a nat 20.
Oh, fuck. Poor Sam.
Just doing terrible.
Oh, wait, yeah. You get the... even the DM gets...
It's like a half-hearted one.
Yeah.
You cast this spell on this man, and he looks down and he sees centipedes and fleas all over him, and he scoffs and he says, "Wizard, I've already got bugs." Brandishes his blade.
Disgusting.
Well, good. Fuck this guy. I don't like him.
Mashed
16.
potatoes.
16 hits.
All right. 7 damage.
You've killed him. What does it look like?
The first one was like an overhead blow, and it hit him like directly on top of the helmet. So it kind of like pushed his skull into his spine a little bit, cracked a couple teeth, and then the other one was like from like down left to high right, like a diagonal upward strike, and the force of the hammer blow just rips the head right off
Oh.
and sends it. And it actually goes through one of these open windows that people opened up. And he's dead. There's blood
You
everywhere.
don't say.
Are you sure?
So I'm going to center this one right between these 3 guys.
Got it.
So 3 saving throws.
The one to the southeast is a little more dexterous, so he saves. And the one that's incapacitated automatically fails. So it's going to be a -3.
Call me
damage.
Fabian for the rest
What?
of the night.
What?
Oh my goodness.
What?
Holy shit.
Do they take
What's the
damage on a
odds,
save?
Mr. John?
Out of a possible 30 points of damage.
There was a 0.1% chance of that occurring.
Yep. Thank you, Roll20.
It was like the
Keeps-
tiniest lightning bolt you've ever seen.
Static electricity.
Static, yeah.
Yeah.
What does it look
Sorry.
like when you kill him?
No, it's gonna tumble off and it's gonna land right on this laughing guy right here. So he's like
He's just
rolling
gonna laugh
around
harder.
laughing while holding a head.
He finds this incredibly funny. He can't help it, and so this head falls onto him. He's clutching it in his hands and staring at it. He would be aghast, but he can't stop laughing.
Just tears pouring down his cheeks.
I hope that guy survives.
Oh man, he's gonna be fucked up.
So can I take a step towards this fart cloud and just
Yes.
hold him into the fart cloud?
You sure can.
Alright, that's what I'm gonna do.
If you want, you can do
You
it
can-
like that. Yeah.
You're gonna have some stinky fingers. Not gonna be the exactly.
Please give me that poison damage, Sam.
That's weird. Oh my god.
Holy shit.
I kept it going. I didn't want to waste this thing.
Oh my god, does the skin just blister off?
I want Sam to
Skin
describe
just
this
slops
one because I'm
off.
pretty sure he's dead, right?
He is dead.
Yeah, I think he just can't even breathe between you holding him in there. He's just like suffocating.
His flesh begins to like boils form and they sort of pop. It looks like a really bad burn on his skin as he goes limp in your hand.
SLO.
I say, Lacoris, I'd pull your hand out of there.
So it's a 9. That's not gonna hit your AC. He swings and he cuts part of your cloak, Bimp.
Oh, no! He thought I was taller, though. That's a good
You can
sign.
see your skinny
It's
little
working.
legs.
And the man on the ground needs to make his con save again. Nope, he is still laughing.
So, I'm gonna cast Catapult as a 3rd level spell.
Okay.
Oh my
Can this
God.
guy make a DC 15 Dexterity saving throw?
He can certainly try. So this
Fail
guy
it,
has a
fail
little
it,
more
fail it,
dex.
fail it.
Tyler's
Yeah!
favorite spell.
It is. This is Lionel's favorite spell. And so he's going to be hit with one of these rocks that weighs 5 pounds
Ideally
or less.
5. Actually, I think it could be 10 pounds because I'm casting it as a 3rd level spell. So the biggest part there.
Hell yeah.
Ouch.
And-
Let's say it's a brick from this house. You just pull it out of
Okay.
the wall.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
dead.
Hit him for
boy.
13 damage. I mean, it's pretty anticlimactic. It sort of just looks like a brick flies out of nowhere, beans him in the head, and he's just dead.
How about there?
There you go. Yes, you've got a
Okay.
clean shot on him.
All right, then I will hit him with that.
Pachunk.
Ka-chunk.
Yes, that hits him.
Okay.
Owning.
For damage. Ooh,
Owning!
You have killed him.
nice.
Does he fall off the roof?
Yes, he does.
Awesome.
This weird mustache guy is bad boy, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna drop this liquefied body just kind of like on top of his head, and I'm gonna grapple him.
Okay.
Tear him like a phone book.
I'm gonna say, "Give up, human."
He drops his morning star. He says, I'm sorry, I'll stop. It's just me and the laughing one.
I don't think he's giving up.
Rip his dick off. Then let
Good
him
with
go.
interrogation, because start asking him questions, because I'm gonna very slowly start turning towards the fart cloud.
This guy on the floor is still laughing.
Yeah,
There are
so
tears
Freya's
coming
gonna
down his
start-
face.
Tying him up.
We're in it for the money. They told us you were here to see the Whisper, and we could ambush you and get some coin off of some adventurers. Godpeck. He owns the Cutlass, and he knows that gangs like us always need a bit of money. And I'm not for sale, sir. I'm giving up this life, I think. I'll go sailing. I won't be a thug anymore. All I know is that the Whisper is here, and she will meet you. So he scampers over to the guy that you have tied up and begins
Untie him.
dragging him off.
Is he still holding the head?
Yeah, he is.
Oh my god.
Well, that went pretty well.
Yeah.
Yes, good work.
So now you are free to enter the prisoners' carnival.
Oh, okay.